Hello everyone, it's me Nancy Finch doing another Tea with Nan on a Monday at 12 o'clock. Welcome. So it's really blustery and cold out there and it's raining, and as you can hear on the roof it's lovely, isn't it? So I hope you're all able to join me. I've got my chakra cup today, all the different vortexes of energy, and today's particular talk, Tea with Nan, is really about love. It's really about loving yourself enough to change how you relate to people in your relationships. So it's all about the green area of your life, okay? This is lovely. So no one's come on so far, so I'm hoping to say happy Monday hugs to somebody when they realise I'm on. So yeah, chakras, really interesting, aren't they? They're vortexes of energy. And this particular vortex, the green, the heart chakra, definitely resonates with today's Tea with Nan. So two people are on here already. Happy Monday hugs to each of you that are on there. Yes, I've just written out, and I've actually very quickly done a drawing of today's symbol that goes with today's talk. And I thought, which one do I want? And I thought it is all about love. It's about you loving yourself and valuing yourself in all your relationships, as I say. So today is all about attachment styles. Now, this is a very big subject for lots of people, and anyone that understands attachment styles realizes it's not a 5-minute talk. It's a very big subject. Oh, Val, you have got the first hugs. Oh, you're on here first. Happy Monday, honey. It's lovely to see your name pop up. And you, Jane, happy Monday to you too, my darling. And I know you can hear the rain above, patting on the roof, but it doesn't matter. You can still hear me underneath. It's like being under a big umbrella today. So, yeah. So this is about attachment styles and how we relate to people, coming really basically from our childhood. This is something we learn how to interact with each other from a very young age, as most of you will know. So if you, anything like me, growing up in a very sort of, can't say hard stimulus, hard childhood really, in a sense of challenges, but it's made me a much better person because of it, and so it's justified. But in that childhood, I learned how to be an anxious open heart, and that means basically an anxious attachment style. So, oh, hi Vicky, thank you for being here on a Monday. So what does that mean? What does attachment styles mean? Well, there's 3 basic attachment styles that I understand, and this talk today is just my own version of this subject. There are lots of experts out there who know a lot about this that you can reference, go to, find out about, and to really enjoy what they say. Oh, hi Vicky, thank you, those big hugs. That's so sweet. We need a big hug on this cold day, don't we? So I learned, we don't do it deliberately, but our environment basically gives us this opportunity to learn to be one style or another, and we can change those styles. Most people go through different phases of these styles I'm about to talk to you about, but the one I basically had for most of my life was an anxious person, anxious open heart. Now there's 3 different types, and I'll explain why you become one or the other, in my experience, as I say. So 3 different types. You've got the anxious open heart, which was me, and many other people listening. Hi Nikki, thank you, and Joe, thank you for being here. So I was anxious open heart, which means I was aware of survival in a place where I felt abandoned, or through general feelings of wanting to feel supported in my childhood. And so because of those basic reasons, I was always anxious around me. The good thing about that is, oh, hi Nick. The good thing about that is I've learned to be more aware. There's always good things that come from every situation, and I learned to be more aware of everything, more psychology based in everything, because I had to survive. And so anxious people tend to be a little bit more, aware and a bit sort of more sensitive, put it that way, than other people sometimes. And then we've got, anxious, open heart, as some people would describe it. That means they give everything and then they react in the same way. Okay, that was me. And then we have a secure attachment style. That's lovely. Secure attachment styles, over 50% of the people listening to this will be in a secure attachment style, which means you're consistent. You're not a roller coaster in your relationship like I was and many other people can be, if there were the 3rd type I'll tell you about. So secure is even, secure is safe, secure is predictable, secure is lovely. It makes you feel you can just really grow in a secure relationship. You can grow stronger and more authentic in that relationship. But if you're like me, anxious open heart for many years, most of my life, you attract what they call the third type. This is the avoidant. Now, the avoidant sounds like someone who doesn't want something, but actual fact, the avoidant really wants the same as you. They really do. They want to be close and intimate. They want that loving relationship, but the avoidant is afraid of being too close. So the intimacy really scares them. And I've done loads of interviews with avoidants, and most of my exes, or all of my exes have done avoidants, but bless them, they're lovely, beautiful people, but just didn't have the ability to trust themselves in a deeper, more committed relationship on an emotional level. So I interviewed them all and I asked them why. Why do they do this? Why do they find this impossible once they get close to somebody? Why do they find it impossible to really engage and embrace that? And they all said to me, because they didn't think that they would be able to maintain it, that they would somehow mess it up. So because they thought they were going to mess it up, they did. And it was safer to mess it up and walk away than it was to actually maintain that relationship. And so it's not their fault if they are avoidants, and we mustn't judge any of these styles. It's not about that. It's about ownership of what you are and how it serves you, really. And so bless them, you get close to an avoidant, and it's wonderful. It's a helter-skelter. It's a merry-go-round, a roller coaster, and up it goes, and it's brilliant and beautiful, and then down it goes. And so avoidant, anxious open hearts would actually attract, in a room full of people, 100 people, they would attract the avoidant because their energy matches. They both want that, but one, like myself, was too needy of it and wanted it, needed it for survival, and the the avoidant would feel, oh my goodness, I can't get this close. This is too suffocating. It's too much. And so, bless them, they wouldn't be able to get into that place of commitment and real intimacy of self. So that's what I've learned about them. So anxious open hearts attract avoidance. That's the bottom line of what I've known. But to break the cycle of that up and down a roller coaster ride, we can become secure. If we can become secure, we no longer attract avoidance. We attract another secure person that matches. Now, having said that, it's a big subject, but what I've learned is if you do have a secure person, then the anxious person becomes more secure because of them, okay? But a secure person is very rare that they're with someone who's an avoidant, because they don't really need that situation. They want something like themselves, another secure person. So there is hope in all of those situations. I really have been aware, especially when lockdown came, and there was a situation with my own relationship. I was aware how I could then learn about this subject, really learn, and without judgment. Because you would think anxious open heart is a weaker person, but they're not. They're just reactive. They protest when they don't get what they want. And there's a lot of anger and fear in that type of attachment, I found. So I was reacting all my life, not really feeling I was in control of my feelings, not really in those close relationships. And so it taught me so much. So in lockdown, I read a fantastic book. It was called Attached, and I would show you now if I had it, but I loaned it out and I haven't got it back. But I will have it to show you in the next few, probably about a month or so, I'll reintroduce it to you. But if you get pen and paper and write this down. Oh, hi, Annie. It's lovely to see you, darling. So the book is called Attached, and it looks like a magnet on the book cover. And it's one of my favourites. I've read quite a few books on this subject, but it is one of my favourites. So Attached by Dr. Amir, A-M-I-R, and R-A-C-H-E-L. Rachel S.F. Heller, H-E-L-L-E-R. And so if you look for that book online, you'll find, or talks maybe, they might have them talks as well, but the book is amazing. And it will show you through quizzes and understanding of those types and how we end up getting into that place in the first place. Like I said, I was anxious open heart, looking for my mother. She wasn't always there, bless her. And so I was always in that place of anxiety. Whereas avoidance, bless them, they have this armour around them as a baby. I don't care, doesn't matter anymore, I don't need it. And so that indifference is their armour. And secure people, as I say, are just a very predictable, lovely place to be, where you're in a more balanced place, put it that way. So let me show you a little story I put on here. I saw it, Brianna McWilliams is a lady that I used to follow on YouTube, to go with the books I was reading. And so the name is Brianna McWilliam, and you spell it as you like, but McWilliam. And she does loads of YouTube videos on this subject, and she really knows her stuff. But I remember seeing another video, and I don't know who it was by, but it was about this scenario, this cartoon characters, you know, and the anxious open heart is playing ball with the avoidant. And so they're throwing the ball to each other, and for a moment, or for years actually, it might seem okay. But this is something that doesn't last for long. Within a short time, the ball is dropped, you know, okay, and I'll explain more. So they're playing ball, and it seems to be fine. And so the anxious open heart throws the ball, and one day the avoidant just turns his back on the ball, or she does. And then the ball drops. And they were thinking, what's happened? So she throws it again, or he throws it again to the avoidant. And he doesn't pick it up, or she doesn't pick it up. And certainly it becomes like oh, I haven't got what I need. So eventually the anxious open heart turns around and is going to leave. And just as that person's about to leave, the avoidant will pick up the ball and throw it. And suddenly they're playing the same game, up and down with the roller coaster rides. And this can go on for years. And I certainly am evidence of that. If anyone wants to talk to me about that, please email me on nancyfinch@hotmail.co.uk. I will be doing a workshop on this subject of my own understanding and my own emotional tools I've used to get me into a good place of being secure eventually. Okay, once you move into a place of secure, there's not much can shift you from that. There's little reminders, little triggers in your day, and your memories of things and how you interact with people, but you can get yourself back online again, okay? So I'm not really following my board very well again, as usual, but to become more self-aware and give yourself the things you need from others is a really beautiful thing to do. Because ironically, as you give yourself what you need, the things that are missing in that relationship, if it happens to be one of those two styles, you are going to attract more of it into your life. And you're going to be not needy of it. This is a good way of not being codependent. This is a really nice, healthy way of giving yourself what you need. And as you do that, you don't really need it from anyone else. And ironically is when that secure person comes into your life, and you are probably going to be that secure to match. So I'm saying that is the best place to be if you want an easy relationship. And that's certainly what I've always desired all my life, and I've got it now. I've attracted a secure attachment style because I became that. And although it was a bit rocky, you know, it's new ground, you can keep reminding yourself that this is where you need to be and that you now are a secure attachment style, because it's so easy. It's so nice. So I've written a few things here. The ball game I've talked about. Yeah, it's so easy to play that game, isn't it? And this can be in all kinds of relationships. Best friend relationships. You can have this very strange kind of codependency going on. And it's really good and healthy to be someone who doesn't go like this up and down. I lived it all my life. It's exhausting. And so you really need to be, if you want a nice, easier, kind of more rewarding relationship, you need to be in a place of understanding your own feelings and being able to support them. Thanks for the hugs, guys, and the hearts. So how did I do it? I wanted to love and support myself. The things I was craving, the security from other people, from my close relationships, that being a priority to them. But I suddenly realised I wasn't doing that for myself. So what did I do? Well, I focused on my inner child. Apart from the obvious book I've told you about, and Brianna McWilliam, she's brilliant, as I say. Listen to all of her short videos. Amazing woman. I really recommend it. So apart from that, I decided to get a picture of myself. Now, this is a picture, a photocopy. Oh, it's actually a real photo of when I was about 4. I was a very tall child, looked more like 6. And I put myself in a frame. This is quite old, actually. And a little thing to say I love me on it, little thing there. It's quite sweet with a little heart. So, paper thing. So, okay, there's me as a 4-year-old. And I had to connect to that part of me to give myself what I needed from other people. That was the easiest way for me to do it. But would you know, I would not be able to look at that photograph when I first started for a very, very long time. It took me nearly a year to look at myself in the eyes and to use this as a reminder of the little vulnerable feelings I had inside as an anxious open heart. So when I eventually did look at this, I would connect to myself. And this wasn't a good time when this was taken either. but I'd take that picture and I'd use it as a reminder, and I'd say to myself, I've got your back. I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to give you the love and support that you need. And so I focused on this. Oh, hi, Ellen. Lovely that you've joined us, darling. We're talking about attachment styles, okay? The 3 main ones. There's lots of others. And my little photo of me when I was a little girl. This gives me value and gives me focus. So there's not a day I don't connect to that picture and use it as my inner child feelings. And I would then give myself what I need or what I've been triggered by, okay? Because when you become a secure attachment style, there are moments where you still go back to an old style and it makes you feel uncomfortable and afraid and angry and all those anxious feelings. I would simply go back to my photo and I would simply say to myself, you are now a secure attachment style. I can give you everything you need. And then back I am on that nice, even place. Lovely. So that's one of the things I've done. And another thing that I'd like to share with you, I'm sure I have before, but I'll remind you of it, is I became my own cake, my own source of happiness. Now, what I mean by that, if you get a cake, and this cake may be your relationship, it's everything you need. It feeds you, it gives you what you need, you think, okay? But what happens if the cake doesn't last? What happens if someone steals your cake? What happens if a cake just disappears, just breaks down and you have no cake? Then everything you've wanted and needed is on the outside of you and it's gone. And so you're hungry for your cake. You're hungry for that feeling you had when you had it. So I like to remind people that if they could be their own cake, their own source of happiness, then everybody else can be the icing on the cake. And everybody likes a bit of icing. They can have the icing. That's a wonderful, beautiful thing. But if the icing falls off, meaning your relationship doesn't last or whatever, then you still got your cake. Okay, that's really good. Oh, hi, Sue. Thank you for joining us, darling. Thank you. Thank you for the hugs. So to be your own cake, what does that mean? It might mean that you're aware that you need to give yourself a hug. You might need to be supportive or kind or compassionate. You might need to prioritize yourself. Self-aware, self-reliant, self-nurturing. I've got them written down. Self-support and self-healing. You can heal yourself from the past relationships. Like I have many experiences in all different walks of life. I've had to heal this first. And by healing yourself with love and compassion and kindness, you gradually become less codependent. But there are many other things that you can look up, as I say, many experts that will help you do this. I will be running a workshop at some point this year. I think it's going to be August, but I'll confirm the date to you close to the time. And it's going to be in St Austell area. So it'll be my own expression and my own tools, for instance, the photograph, etc. And to be your own cake, how can you do that? So it's about not being codependent and needing another person to fulfill us, okay? That's basically bottom line. And another thing I did, which was really, really good to help keep me in that secure attachment style, was I did a talk on this recently about always wear your crown, okay? Oh, hi Daniel, nice that you've joined us, darling. Happy Monday. Oh, thank you. So always wear your crown. And one of my Remember to Wear Your Crown, I think it was in Tea with Nan a short while ago, it was where I sort of explained that if you can have a value for yourself and you place an imaginary crown on your head, I'm a queen, people treat me as a queen, or this is the best part, I'm a queen, I'm attracting my king. That means you have some value for who you really are. We're not better than anyone else, but we see that we're authentically great as we are. We're fine. We don't try and strive to be anything else. So being a queen or being a king, I'm attracting my queen. I've seen lots of people with a vibe that comes from that attain their lovely king or queen, and they end up, it really means secure and self-valuing. That's what it means. So I did a talk on that. Where is it now? Be Your Own Cake is in the orange section of my Nan talks. And now actually talks not what we're doing now. This is Tea with Nan. So Be Your Own Cake is in the orange section. That's that sacral area there on the 7th of the 6th, 21. So that's the first one. And the crown is an exercise I showed you, as I say, go back to it. Tea with Nan on the 3rd of the 7th, 23. So go back to that. I think it says wear your own crown, but go back to that Tea with Nan and perhaps practice putting on your own crown. Okay, that's going to be a couple of the exercises from the workshop I will be doing this year. And when your inner child tries to go back, as you start to become more secure and self-valuing and self-aware, and self-supporting, as I say, then there's going to be a few triggers. There's going to be something you don't trust, and you're going to have the courage to be able to deal with that. Certainly by perhaps even asking a person that's triggered you, do you mean this, or can I talk to you about this? Which it takes a lot of courage when you've been through years of not being able to be that direct, and valuing yourself enough. And of course, the photograph. Get yourself a photograph of when you were little, and look at yourself in the eyes and just say, I give you what you need from others. Okay, I'm going to give it to you, even if you can't really see a way of doing that. At least you're supporting yourself. At least you're connecting to that part of you, that vulnerable part that really needs you right now through changes. Okay, so you could say, as an affirmation, I give myself the things I need from others. That's quite nice. Oh, hi May, that's lovely that you joined us, darling. You can all remember, everyone listening to me now can share this with other people, because you don't know how important it is to give a positive word or support through some exercise that they could do and practice, or perhaps learn like I did through different YouTube videos like I've watched. Brianna, as I can't say, honestly, she's amazing. Brianna McWilliam, I could never get fed up with listening to her, but it took me a while to recognize and to change and to go inside and to give myself what I need. And at first, as I say, it was very difficult, because you don't want to go inside sometimes. You're looking for those dark shadows in there sometimes, Attached, the book I'm talking about, is a really good book. It's heavy reading for some people that, perhaps don't understand their attachment style. But as you go through it, you'll start to judge yourself or situation less and start to become more educated. And once you learn something, you cannot really unlearn it. And then suddenly it just evolves from that point. You suddenly make the right decisions to become what you want to be. And as I say, secure, I've never been more happy in my whole life. And by being a queen, I attract my king. I certainly have my king. And my king I adore with all my heart. So to be with someone that you trust wholeheartedly and to love unconditionally is the most rewarding thing. And I would recommend it. So perhaps get that book, or there's many other books that you might be drawn to. They're all relative. Whatever you're drawn to is obviously right for you. So attachment styles is what you need to get into. And obviously perhaps look at that inner child picture of yourself, something to support you while you're learning about yourself. And I hope that most of you here are secure. It'd be lovely if you are. But if you do find yourself reacting to something, and as I say, many years of that, it's called protesting. So you're protesting and all those, I don't know, it's just you lose control of those feelings because you're feeling fear and anger. And it's an injustice quite a lot of the time. As I say, it's a helter-skelter, it's a roller coaster, it's always moving, it's never still and stable. So learn about yourself. And last of all, I did a quick drawing of this today. I've been channeling through for a few years and got a whole collection of symbols that help you to recognize, to attach something to recognize what you need and attach it to it, and let that symbol do its job for you. So this is one of my favorites. It's probably the strongest one I've got in the pill box, if you like. It's eternal love. Okay, so you draw a heart and you draw this eternal feeling of love that's inside your heart. Now this should really be green, but I've done it in pink. It's really good for this area. So you could draw this on your mirror and just draw that lovely, beautiful symbol, just to represent that you have eternal love for yourself, that you can heal yourself with love, that you can be a secure attachment style who's attracting consistent love on the level that you need it. And I can't recommend that enough. So as I say, it's a big subject. This is a huge subject for so many people, and it's complex. So it isn't just this talk. If you could go back and listen to some of my talks, be your own cake, be your own source of happiness. It's a start, isn't it? Find out from different places where you can get extra support to be the attachment style you desire. And if you're with somebody who is, say, avoidant or anxious and you want to remain secure, there are many ways to do that. So you can still stay in your relationships. As long as you understand yourself, you have control of those feelings. And you can, as I say, be your own source of happiness. So no more codependency for me. And it feels good. It doesn't feel lonely, it feels good. It feels self-reliant, and you feel stronger and more authentic. As you know, that's what I like to be on here. I'm very authentic, because why not? Be honest with yourself. And it might take a bit of courage, but it's certainly the most rewarding thing to be, is honor yourself, value yourself. And maybe just look, as I say, at some of those things I've mentioned today, and place your crown on your head and you own yourself. And as you own yourself, you're humbled, you're by the beauty of yourself, but you're no different, you're not better than anyone else, you're just owning it. And you're celebrating yourself, and you're giving yourself honor. And that's a really nice place to do, you know, to be. And you're really helping yourself feel in control of those feelings, which is another side effect on this solar plexus area. You're feeling safe and in control. No more stress and worry, because suddenly you know you can believe in yourself and you have the answers here. So eternal love, draw it to yourself. You can always put it on your hand, or just draw it in the air, or just in front of a mirror. Just place it here. That's what you can do. So I hope you've enjoyed today. I know it's gone really quick again, as always. Don't think I've forgotten anything on my board. Just be your own sense of happiness, and maybe write out, I give myself the things I need from others. That's a nice affirmation I wrote a long time ago. Be your own queen or king, and learn how to just be aware that the icing's lovely on a cake, but you really need to make your own cake. Lovely. Okay, and maybe if you're brave enough, perhaps tell me that you've got yourself a little photograph of you and place it somewhere you can see it every day, so you can be aware, self-supporting and self-love. Ah, thank you, Jane. I hope you like that, darling. I mean, if you haven't got a photograph, then you can imagine, or place a photograph of perhaps a group photograph and just focus on yourself, or whatever. I mean, most of you have got photographs, but otherwise, you know, just imagine. Draw a stick man if you like, but that represents your inner child. Thanks, Val. I'm glad you like that, darling. It is just the tip of the iceberg, as I say, but it has to start somewhere, doesn't it? And, you know, every great journey starts with the first step. And it takes a lot, because there's going to be lots of feelings coming up from that. You know, resentment, it's not fair, why should I have to do this? But the reward is, oh, amazing. And the harder the journey, the more reward you feel, okay? That's why you see me smiling a lot. Right, so I think that's it for today. It's a namaste moment. I shall see you next week, hopefully, Monday at 12 o'clock. Have a wonderful week. You know, maybe do a gratitude list as well, because you're learning so much about life as you go through it. All right, take care, everybody. Lots of love. I'll see you next week. Namaste. Stay happy. Bye.